Try this again here. There we
Hello?
go. Brandon,
Yes, sorry about that. I haven't done
can
an
you hear me?
Instagram in a while. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
How are you, sir? Brandon Gilson, pleasure.
Pleasure's mine. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you perfectly.
Okay, cool.
Happy Friday.
Thank you. Friday's as good a day as Monday.
Touche. Touche.
Yeah, I don't get caught up in the days of the week, especially these days. I don't even know
Especially
what
these
day of the week
days.
it is. But
Uh,
I'm like, if you call me on a Friday, 5 o'clock, I'm in the office like the same way it would be any other day.
of
Matter of
course.
fact,
Of
I get more
course.
done Friday afternoon. It's probably one of the better days.
I agree.
To get a decision out of a decision maker because they're kind of done with their multiple tasks. And it's
Especially.
usually a time when, if you're an efficient leader, you've probably done everything you're supposed to do. You get ready for the weekend. You can catch
That's right.
somebody. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
And so where are you hunkering down in quarantine these days?
pretty much Westchester, Scarsdale, where I
Okay.
live. So all good. And where are you?
We're up in Boston, Massachusetts.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Everything okay up there? A little crazy.
Yeah, these days, I mean, it's crazy everywhere you look. We're
Yeah,
just focusing on, what we can control and letting the rest, just take its course here. So,
absolutely.
but
All you could do, keep grinding.
no, for sure. When
Stay
Jack
positive.
had, yeah, for sure. When Jack had reached out to me last week, Brandon, he said that you wanted to come on. First off, I'm honored, and secondly, what better tag team duo than two Brandons here? So
Easy. Won't forget your name.
there you go, there you go. So
Well,
what have you
thanks
been
for
up to
having
these
me, man.
days?
Appreciate
No,
it.
for sure, for sure. We rolled out this IG Live series, Brandon, about 5 weeks ago now. Trying to spice things up and to keep everyone engaged and to bring on some cool folks like yourself. We've brought on folks from TV shows, athletes, retired athletes, comedians. So we're very excited to be speaking with you tonight, and I'm curious what you've been up to now.
Are we live already, or we are live, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh,
we're
I
live,
just want to
baby.
make sure we went. I've been optimistic. I go through a couple hours a day of a little bit of some ups and downs, just
Yeah,
because I am 60, and I realize that going outside into crowds, I'm gonna miss going to ball games, and or because until they have something that I could take if I do get the virus that will enable me to ensure me that I'm not going to die. I'm gonna have to be really careful. So I've been a little bummed about the fact that it may take 3 or 4 months. But on the other hand, I've been really optimistic about the opportunities and the things
right,
that I can do right from my desk and from my phone. And I've always been a tremendous dialer. When I built my company over 30 years ago, I was a tremendous dialer, and I would be dialing all day for dollars and coming up with ideas. So I'm not afraid to pick up the phone and reach out to people. And I think it's a really fun adventure now to see where this is going to land and figure out how I can, I've never been a selling oriented person. I'm a solution oriented person. So, coming up with solutions like right now at the Steiner agency, like we've been working on a lot of virtual conversations with athletes because now that, CEOs and CMOs who tend to be a little bit older, they're not the most versed on
right,
digital and they're not techies. And now they have to be the last month to
definitely.
communicate with their staffs and their people. And they're like, wait a minute, I could do this, but you still got to break it up. You still got to make it more fun. So we've been able to incorporate into some of their weekly meetings and sales pitches and strategy meetings, incorporate, some virtual talks with a whole bunch of athletes, Marianne Rivera, Aaron Boone, a whole bunch of different guys. So it's been fun, trying to help come up with ideas and help companies, get to their customer base and stuff. So it's exciting.
For sure.
I got a couple other very entrepreneurial ideas that I've been sitting here now for 2 months, which I haven't had really solid downtime. That definitely some businesses I'm thinking about investing in and maybe
Okay.
opening up, given the framework of the environment.
Any that you want to tease us with, or
Yeah, I mean, for one is, I love, if the restaurateurs have not, they got to stop whining and complaining because everybody's screwed, not only them, but I understand they're taking a big, big hit,
yeah,
and not because of anything they did, but takeout and delivery can be a big business. But how many times have you called up and you can't read the menu? They haven't changed the menu. You've got a $25, fish dish, but you're at
right,
home, doing that for three people. Like, I'm not going to spend $100. I'm going to get a piece of fish in the tin can. But, family style takeout and changing the menu up having somebody on the phone that can take the orders, changing a menu up, and you look, doing some Facebook ads so you can promote specials, doing
Sure.
videos of the chef making the special, or if you have a homemade cake, putting that stuff up so that, ordering takeout could be creative and more fun. You feel like it's going to be something good as opposed to almost
It's
like
an
a necessary
experience.
evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I think there's a big upside in the takeout delivery, especially now with StubHub. I mean,
Grubhub
with
and
Grubhub. And
DoorDash.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, people are not looking to get out, and it's going to be a little while till they get back in the thick of it. But, I could order margaritas. I could order a bottle of wine now in a lot of
Yeah.
states. I think it's a great opportunity for restaurants to cut down on their overhead,
Yeah.
be creative, cut down on your menu, and really serve people. And I think, most of us, at least for the next few months, are going to be ordering in at least a couple of nights a week. Be creative, man. Dig in,
Right.
grind it out, because there's definitely a lot of money to be had there now that people's stimulus checks are coming in. Business is starting to kind of come back a little bit.
Right.
I think it's a great opportunity. I think well, Brandon, where are you going to be in 9 months?
Well, that's a valid question. And just hold on one second, because I'm going to try to navigate through all the questions, because if you're looking at the chat here, Brandon, there's a lot, and I told people that we're going to try to
So
get through
let's do
most
the
of them.
questions.
But
We'll come back to the 9-month question at the end.
no.
Come back to
Well,
it.
a lot of
No
people are
problem.
saying Brandon is the GOAT. I've had the pleasure of speaking with Brandon. I'm just going to do a quick scroll like every few minutes, but we're good
Sure.
for right now.
Well, thank you, everybody, for the first of all, I'm not with Steiner Sports anymore, and I'm with the Steiner Agency and then Collectible Exchange, which is like an eBay where
Yep.
people can put their stuff up. So to give you an example about the adversity, I just started the company in December and it was doing okay, but getting the word out and getting people to put their stuff up, they're busy. Wah. All of a sudden this happens. Have you not been in your closet, garage, cleaning it out?
Right.
We have over 50,000 items on Collectible Exchange. People are cleaning this stuff out. They realize they have 5 Mickey Mantle balls. They want to sell 4. They got 3 Ted Williams bats. They want to sell 2. So
For sure.
we went over 50,000 items on our site. And, so you never know when sometimes a bust ends up being a boost. But I really appreciate, when I left Steiner about 9 months ago, I cannot believe the amount of people that reached out to me and really had a lot of kind and nice things to say. I really did. I lived that company for the fans and for my customers, and I really try to get them closer to the game. And the amount of people that reached out to me and the support I got for 32 years has been amazing. And even with the new companies, the support's been amazing. But I'm very grateful. I love collectors and I love sports fans. I try to always treat them, because I know they're the most important thing, the fans and the customers. So I've been trying to serve them for a lot of years, and it's nice that they are appreciative of it. And it's fun. Sure. It's fun doing this stuff, for them.
What were some of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome, Brandon, when you were with Steiner Sports?
There were a lot of challenges throughout. Especially when I got started. When I started the company, I only had $4,000, and financing was always an issue. Talking athletes, I was trying to talk Walter Payton into signing autographs, or Jack Lambert, who was in some forest park.
Yeah.
Staubach. Nobody. I did more first signings with players than you can imagine, because they never heard of it and they didn't really know what was involved and how to do it and what a signing even was. So there was a lot of challenges, especially because forgetting the athletes not knowing what it is, the customers didn't really know how that was supposed to go and what that was and what you sign and what you can't sign. And so I was always trying to do things with more of my gut as a fan, what I would want if I was a fan. And so that was always a big challenge, was just really selling it in and trying to figure out a formula so that the athletes would get paid reasonable amount of money and then people got what they wanted, and making sure there was an upside for the people who are buying the stuff so they felt like they were paying a reasonable price, which was always a challenge. Because, athletes, like everyone else, they want to get paid and they're always looking to get more. Right. So that was always a challenge. And inventory issues, especially the last 4 or 5 years with movement. Players coming, going, getting hurt, steroids, huge challenge. All of a sudden, people, that was a death sentence for collectability. So all of a sudden you have players that you were doing great with, like a Mark McGuire, and then he missed the cheating and his stuff's not even worth the 10% of what, that kind of stuff. I think like one of the bigger challenges, it was like the Barry Bonds thing, or an A-Rod, who, really are the next Babe Ruth, and we should have been able to sell it through the roof, and then they kind of got a little tarnished. And those are the things that really should be boosting your industry, and it kind of weighs it down. And that's a shame, because Imagine if Babe Ruth was alive today, we'd all be waiting forever to get an autograph from him. We
Oh
had
yeah.
Barry Bonds. I mean, think about what he did, but then he got tarnished. Alex Rodriguez is probably one of the greatest baseball players we've seen
Yep.
in our time, other than if you were a lot old enough to see Willie Mays or Hank Aaron. But Mickey Mantle, I just that, and he got tarnished. And it's a shame because that's the stuff that really would have blew up the collectible business.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
those were like kind of setbacks and challenges, really.
Yeah. Let's see
It's
here.
fun. It's been fun though. Great run. I remember, we had Muhammad Ali for about 4 years, and I got to do some work with him back in the early '90s when he really was able to have full conversations and stuff. And then working with him and seeing him get less and less hard. He was a gem. I mean, and that was challenging. Like to just you just wanted to pump energy and blood into him because his mind was going a million miles a minute, and he was a legend to work with. And I think anybody who has an autograph from him should cherish it and hold on to it, not only for the kind of athlete he was, because he was a GOAT,
Oh yeah.
and also just the kind of person what he stood for. So many life lessons. And you think about it, we only have really a few GOATs. When you really think about Babe Ruth, Wayne Gretzky. You're talking about Muhammad Ali, Jordan. Really, those are the greatest.
Jordan.
I don't know if anybody's ever going to be better than those guys. But
Right.
so I enjoy that. I enjoy, when I was ever, able to go create those kind of things around them was always fun.
For sure. I read an article today, Brandon, that Michael Jordan or his old agent said that he turned down a 2-hour deal that would have paid him $100 million just to announce that he was about to sign something. Like he had a partner with a company and they wanted him to do this like 2-hour meet and greet, and he said no. So
yeah,
I mean
Michael makes a lot of money. David Falk did a great job with him. He was a tremendous, David Falk is a tremendous agent.
Yeah.
David Falk for the Falk Sports Management School. I started the Falk School. One of the original board members. I'm the chair of that, and David did a tremendous job. And we were so lucky to have it because it's now become one of the best sports marketing schools. You have another good one up there in UMass for young sports marketers coming up. And our school it's amazing what we've done in like 12 short years. David did a tremendous job because everybody who does anything with any athlete should really send Michael a check because, back in the early '90s when I was really just getting going, he really is the one who started sports licensing. He enabled a salesperson to go into a brick and mortar chain and get them to buy licensed products because Jordan could sell anywhere. Right. He was the first guy that, if you saw a Jordan t-shirt, it could be in any city, any state. And he was also the first athlete to say, wait a minute, I'm not doing a 2-hour one-off. I want points. I want ownership. Right. And that was a big message to a lot of the athletes as well, to be you could be much more involved and have long-term results from companies you team up with. Why just drive their sales short term when you could be with them long term? And really him and Magic were really the two leaders on that. So Jordan played I know everybody's watching this Jordan series, and I'm not sure, I haven't watched the whole thing, but he was extremely monumental on the business end on sports marketing. If you Google, I probably did 50 interviews about Michael when he was quitting, his effect on the business, his effect on sports marketing. He opened up so many doors because he was just electric and really got things a lot more mainstream and with a lot of different sports marketing practices. Yeah. So I'm always grateful to Michael. He's one of my favorites as well, but haven't gone to his camp for a couple of years. Yep. Beat him in a little pickup game. I always hit a couple shots in his face. So I'm really grateful. Like I told him after I hit that game-winning shot at his camp, I'm like, Michael, I will tell anyone and everyone. I told my wife that I'm like,
he's never gonna hear like the end of that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was fun. It's fun. He's a fun guy, and I'm glad he's getting some of his due now. Not that he was hurting now he's hurting with all his Air Jordan stuff, but I still wear the Jordans, man. I don't know what it's doing for my game, but I still feel good in them.
It's working. So
yeah.
Going back to your question, I mean, so the line of work that we're in, Brandon, so we do a lot of, customized VIP experiences for companies, their employees, their families, and their friends. So, our business model is based around sports, entertainment, travel, concerts, everything that's on hold right now. So to answer that question, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns and a lot of variables that, we have no control over. With that being said, what we do have control over is still the type of access that we have to celebrities, talents, some very cool folks that our clients, want to intertwine, like you said, to Zoom, into FaceTime, to spice things up. So we got a request from a client today that said, Brandon, we want to have a celebrity chef surprise our top 10 clients on a Zoom call this month. And I want to send them out a care package with ingredients and food, and have the celebrity chef do a little mini Q&A and a cooking session. So cool things like that. So basically, we're now turning our in-person experiences into virtual experiences.
Same. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
idea too. It's a brilliant idea, and believe it or not, by the end of the year, you'll need an hour to explain all the virtual things you're going to be doing, Brandon.
For sure.
What we do know, what is a fact, is that any decent sized company is not planning any live events until a minimum of January, February of 21. So
Yeah.
for the next 7 months, you can go this direction. You're not going to be missing anything. Now,
Yeah.
maybe in the fall, maybe some things will lighten up. You never know. We have the geniuses around the world trying to figure out how to get this thing under control. But I think that's smart on your part, and you got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to kind of get outside yourself. And it's, the most important thing when you're out there and you're stuck, which you probably a month ago were probably freaking out a little bit because you probably lost a lot of business in the spring and the summer, which I did. I lost a fortune. I had so many things booked in May and June that got canceled.
Yeah.
But you got to decide that. But there is a lot of conversation going. But you got to remember, there's a whole bunch of NBA teams that haven't been able to let their players back in the gyms even to practice or whatever. So, I think he's waiting out, and then maybe they can get this thing in over the summer and maybe start next year's season in December, which is probably what they should do, whether they do it or not. I think the big question is, can baseball make it back? I think the owners are split. I think some of them want to play in maybe Arizona for a while and then work their way back into the stadiums. I definitely think there's some owners that just want to play in the stadiums. And I know that some of them are working on strategies and plans so that you can play in their stadiums with some fans and in some cases without. My answer is, I think mid-June they go play a couple weeks in Arizona. Maybe they're in the stadiums possibly over the summer.
Yeah.
But that's probably more of a wish. And then, there's the college situation, which is really even more up in arms because you're talking about, are schools going to open up and how they're going to open up and whether or not you're going to have team sports. And I think that's a shame because you'll see potential schools close down that count on that revenue. You'll see a lot of schools move away from athletics because they just can't carry. And, this could be a huge change in our academic, collegiate situation. I think there's probably more conversation to be having about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's an interesting time. I mean, and we've been talking about it for a long time about, like, does somebody have to go to school? Can you go to college online and possibly maybe work a little more? We've seen a lot of older people, unfortunately, in the last 3 months die, with probably more to die, unfortunately, which is going to change some things around. And I think as an older person, I think, when I talk to a lot of friends that are even a little older than me, I think you may see a lot of people that have been holding a lot of higher positions maybe step down and maybe say, something, time for me to, chill out and maybe just enjoy my life. This kind of has put definitely a jolt into some older people that have probably made a lot of money. And I think you'll see some movement from underneath as far as at a lot of these different companies and stuff and in the job market. So I think there's some interesting things that are about to develop over the next 6 to 12 months, especially with older people, because, they're going to be the ones most susceptible here and be the last to probably engage and jump out and get into the mix. So, and then, being home this much and being so careful, I think you may see some older people changing direction about, how they want to maybe live their last 10 or 15, 20 years.
I agree. No, for sure.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of things, Brandon, going on the younger demographic and the entrepreneur route, what are some of the key pieces of advice that you would want to give to those that are, graduating college or looking to start their own business? Because we have a lot of young hustlers, entrepreneurs, that are clients, that follow us on here. So what would you have to say to them?
Well, the first thing I think, first of all, I love the kids. I love Generation Z. I think the kids right now, they're in late high school, college, and even 1 year or two out of school, they're just a great crop of young people that are going to take care of our planet and do a lot better than hopefully what we've been doing. Mm-hmm. They have the ability. They're not kind of infatuated in the fact they've got a couple apps and can jump on a Google and look some stuff up, which I think some of the, kids in their 20s kind of got a little caught up with the fact that they can manipulate and get some info quick. And sometimes that got kind of looked on as being a little lazy. But I tell younger ones that listen, I think they're special, and I think there's a lot of entrepreneurism. But remember, the highest level of entrepreneurism in this country is right now is between 55 and 65, because those people have the money. They've been working at what they've been working at for a long time. They're a little burnt out. They
Yeah.
have the experience. So that's where the entrepreneurism spirit is. I tell young ones is, listen, you came up with a great idea, you'll come up with another. You got to go get the experience, go grind it out, go make some relationships, go have some fun, get out into the job market for 5-6 years, learn how to hire, fire, finance,
Yeah.
and then go start your thing. I think a lot of people jump the gun, and they see some young ones that do hit the lottery, but most young people fail at their entrepreneurism when they do it too early and they're not experienced enough. I do love, there's so many 15, 16-year-olds that are making money, that are doing well, but it's different when you're making money and you live in your parents' house versus making money and have to put food on the table because your kids are counting on you to bring home the bread.
Right.
So, you got to be careful. There's always plenty of time to go put that risk and that burden on you to go make something happen. But when you have experience and you really know what you're doing when it comes to a particular industry, it's worth it, putting the time in and learning that industry around other people where the buck doesn't stop with you. So I think there's some great entrepreneurism out there, and I'm excited to see what's going to pop open in the next 10 years. It's going to be really good.
Yeah. How do you feel about companies taking this time right now to rebrand themselves and to reposition themselves?
I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of, solution selling and really trying to figure out as a company how to take what they've been doing well and service, this environment and service people in a different kind of way, and pivoting people to that maybe we used to flying and going to visit, making sales calls and teaching them how to get on a Zoom, and maybe not doing what we're doing, but maybe being able to put, right now, if I wanted to put some slides on this, if I wanted to go and create a better background, if I really wanted to dramatize my Zoom stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what now companies need to now impose their will on, as far as their branding is concerned, is, how they're going to communicate. On the other hand, what's old is new. I mean, has there been a better time, if you wanted to, than to advertise on TV right now? I mean, we're all watching a lot of TV, right? So you never know what's going to die. I think it's a good time if you have a little bit of money. I mean, it's amazing the deals you can get now in advertising if you want to just drive home your brand. Like I remember in 2007, when the economy really dropped, if you remember that, and we really hit that real estate thing, and everybody was just, I probably was spending about $200,000-$300,000 a year on advertising. I quadrupled my spend. And we were definitely about to have the worst 3 quarters we've ever had as a company. I had a good first quarter, and I quadrupled the spend. I said, something, if I'm not going to make a whole lot of money or lose a little bit, I might as well lose a little bit more. But the spend, of another $1 million spend, I was able to get like $3 or $4 million of value. And the message to people when I went out with that, I was like, wow, if this brand is out there, bright, strong, and energized in a market like this, it must be a hell of a brand. And I was able to buy things and do things that I normally could never afford. I bought a billboard outside Madison Square Garden. I bought some ads on TV shows I never could afford. And, the deals and the steals were there. And in an environment like this with diversity comes opportunity. So you got to start thinking about, what do you want? As opposed to rebranding, how about just making sure your branding is articulate and making sure people actually know what you do, because there's not a better time now to communicate it. So instead of getting on your heels, because whenever you're on your heels, nobody ever stubbed their toe walking backwards, my man. No one.
Valid.
So when you're on your heels, you're in the wrong direction. But you think about it, you got to get back on your toes. And if you've got what your company does best, now's a good time to communicate what your company does best, and communicate it in a way that it does best, that matches up to the environment that we're in. I always used to call Mariano Rivera and I go, Mo, can you throw a change up? Could you throw a curveball? Something. He goes, why should I? They still can't hit my cutter. I said, yeah, but it'd be nice to have a little diversity. He goes, why? But what you don't understand, Brandon, is not only am I throwing the cutter, and that's all I'm throwing, but I'm still working on getting my cutter better. So there's nothing wrong with taking what you do best and now focus on making it even better. Because when you're in an environment like this, the best always still floats high.
Right.
Instead of trying to do a whole bunch of different things, figure out what you do, and if you can do it better. If you got to pivot a little bit in the way you do better based on the environment, so be it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Well, the reason I asked is because I mean we're looking to actually rename our company, rebrand ourselves because our company name right now, Brandon, is the Best Seats VIP. People hear that, they think, tickets and they think, seats. It's far from the reality of what we do. We do corporate, customized entertainment, individual VIP experiences. We've had
Okay.
success over the past 6 years. We're doing very well, and our clients know us. They know what we do. But I'm thinking now's a great time. With more time on our hands, we can reposition ourselves. So, like you said, when someone hears us, they can fully grasp who we are, or they want to learn more, and they're not scared. Well, they just do tickets, because
And here's
now.
the thing. Hold on a second. Why use that word scared? I'm not home because I'm scared. I'm home because I'm smart. I'm
Yeah.
home because I have a strategy to make sure that I don't get sick. There's a difference between rebranding yourself and repositioning. You're known as one thing, but reposition that one thing with maybe an additional word could change it.
Well, we're
Right? Because you
known
still got the
for.
best seats in town, man. I got the
Well,
best seat right now where I am.
yeah, yeah. But so here's the thing, Brandon. We're known for having, really, really exclusive, unique access to all types of experiences. I mean, we've done, hang out with LeBron James, meet Michelle
Yep.
Obama, and
Yep.
all that stuff. And our clients know that, but it's because, working, with us for so many years. But it's when we're targeting new businesses, and especially now, they're looking for cool ways because they can't go to these events. So now they need to know that we can bring the celebrities to their computer screen.
So the
And if
name
they
of your
hear
the name of your company is.
the Best Seats VIP right now.
So now what I would say is the best virtual seats VIP.
Yeah, but we do more than just seats, Brandon. And people hear seats, they
The
think
best
tickets, they
virtual
think.
experiences VIP. The best virtual seats and experiences VIP. It's fine by me. Because it's still going to come down to the relationships in your mailing list and the people that have done business with you that say, something, I love going to your events. I trust you to put the events me sitting right here in my house. It's
Yeah.
still going to be the cornerstone. So if you can alter the name of your business or rebranding your business just a little bit, if you have to, do what you got to do, but the less you alter it to just deal with what you're trying to encapsulate, great. That's my take.
Our goal is just to, lose the whole ticket seat connotation that when someone hears that, because, we do travel,
Yeah.
hospitality, experiences. But that truly, that's been one of our biggest challenges, Brandon, when we're looking to establish a partnership with a new company that we want to work with. Law firms, accounting firms, hospitals, wealth managers. We're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
paint the wrong picture, but
It's a challenge.
it
What I
is a
always
challenge.
love when I'm rebranding certain parts of my company, or whatever, I always love putting it out to my customers and asking them. I send an email out saying, something, we're thinking about coming up with a slightly new brand and a different name. Anybody have any ideas what you call it? Because here's now what we're doing. And I always say inclusion breeds commitment. So it's like you go send that out to all your customers, all your fans, all your corporate connections, and ask for
Yeah,
this feedback. First of all, now you got everybody to read down what you're doing. And then you'd be surprised. You got some bright minds out there that know you, that experience what you're doing. You may get some good ideas.
it's true.
Not a
That's
bad
true.
idea.
Yeah,
It's called customer involvement, And customer involvement is one of the simplest things. You go to the deli, right? The guy starts slicing the corned beef, and he goes, "Taste this." You
yep,
go to the restaurant, and it gives you a little mannequin of soup. Taste this. What are you going to say? It sucks. You say,
it's true.
if you use a little more of this, a little more of that. Now you're involved. And you got to go buy a container of it.
Right.
So it's like when you get your customers involved with the renaming, and you get your customers involved with what you're doing and how you're pivoting, they feel like they're involved with what you're doing, and you're asking
True.
for their opinion. It's a really great marketing tool, whether you use it or not. I
Right.
love the tool. I always used to email my customers out and say, "What do you think we should do with this player? What would you get signed? What would you do? Ultimately, what would you like to see?" I'm constantly sending out those kind of emails, and people love that because now they feel like they have some involvement, and I respond to all of them. Anybody who emailed in different ideas, I'd say thank you, love that idea. I'd send them a free gift if they came up with a really good idea, or if we use their idea. I love that. That's my 2 cents. I think you got a challenge ahead of you to kind of pivot, but
Yeah.
something, you did really good quality events, and when you do quality work and when you do quality things, which you have, Brandon, in the past, people notice. And it's not
Right.
as hard as you think. It's hard in your mind, and you're going to always overblow out the change and the hardships that you go through. But
Right.
customers and your clients don't think about it as much as you do and as hard as you
That's
do.
true.
So the slight pivot may be just enough. Now, what that slight pivot is why they pay you the big bucks.
Touche. Touche. What's been the best piece of advice that you've received, whether it was when you first started out or in the past month that, really resonates with you in business or personal?
Oh, so many.
One of the
Well,
best,
you know, it's a
because you
good
give
question.
phenomenal advice, and I'm always intrigued by, what you've heard where you're like, you know what, that's it.
I think there's a few things that I've learned over the course of time. I mean, one of them is, the fortunes and the follow-up. You
Yeah.
can't reach out and touch people enough. And in an environment like this, it's not who you know and not what you know, but what you know about who.
True.
And now is the time when you got to do your research and you got to see where, people are at, school or college they went to, their kids. Now's the time to really think about where your bread is buttered. And I'm sure you got a vibrant business and you do a lot of things with a lot of people, but I guarantee you that a good amount of your business comes from a small amount of people. And it's really time to dig in with those small people and take those relationships up a notch. And it doesn't happen just by sending a quick text and see how you're doing. It
Yeah.
comes from really understanding and seeing those people and understanding who they are and what they're going through and seeing if you could be, again, a value add to them, whether it be in their personal life or in business or whatever, because that's what makes the difference. So I know where my bread's buttered, and I'm checking in with these people and I'm seeing if there's things I could do for them, even if they're not business related, because I know those are the people that are responsible for me being where I'm at. I think the last thing I'd say is, you know, it's easy to be afraid and it's easy to, to wait for something to happen. And I got news for you. Life is difficult. Life is really hard. And this is not the first time that life's going to be difficult and hard. It's definitely not the last time. This life is just full of a bunch of difficulties. The faster you accept that life is difficult, the faster you accept that you're going to have these curveballs thrown at you, you're just going to be much better equipped when they happen to be able to pivot and do the things you need to do and not feel sorry for yourself, because this is what it is. Life is not
Yeah.
just a beautiful now. I would say it's like life is just not a nice, calm ocean. You get in your boat, you fly, you get on your boat from one place to the next. It's going to be windy. It's going to be rocky. It's going to be stormy. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be all those things. And the other thing is you need to raise your level of faith. And, faith, one of my friends, Mariana Vera, tells me, it's so important to have faith. And faith is about believing in something even though you can't see it. And right now is a perfect example of why you need to have high faith. But you don't want to wait for situations like this to all of a sudden believe in God and to have faith. You want to have faith all the time. And this way, when things like this come up, you're
Right.
able to embrace these things and know that there's a higher power and there's good coming around the bend. And I think a lot of times people wait for these kind of situations. Then all of a sudden they're praying to God and they're increasing their faith. But, faith is part of the diet that should be going on all the time. And I think as a business person, it's really important to have the common good, not only doing things for the bottom line, but doing things for the common good.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, I think it takes some situations like this virus to really shake you up a little bit and say, hey, listen, I know we're all do some charity stuff, but you gotta put a portion of your week aside for the common good, to thank the people that help your world go around, whether it's the post office person, the delivery guy, the guy cutting your grass, whatever it is. And I think that these are the times that you need to get reminded about how far off we are on a day-to-day basis with the real level of gratitude we have. And that's the best advice that I could give you today is, as you're rebuilding and resetting your business brand, and, do something kind, do something nice for everybody, and get in the habit of doing it all the time, not just in environments like this. And you'll be surprised at the joy you get from it. I've been doing 2 acts of kindness for the last 20 years. Good environment, good day, bad day, doesn't matter. I put out 2 acts of kindness every day to 2 people that don't even expect it. And I know I'm not going to get anything back.
Right.
And my favorite line is, do as much as you can for as many people as you can, as often as you can, and expect nothing back. That's sheer joy.
And that last part is so key because when you expect, something in return, you're always let down. So
That's the grown up. That's the grown up part
Yeah.
of it. I know it's hard when
Yeah.
you're younger to think that, but it's
Right.
exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now more than ever, we believe in karma, helping out our
Yeah.
clients, just check in with them. I mean, like you said, yes, you could just send them a quick, little text or an email, but, we're sending out, handwritten notes, gift baskets, just to stay on their
But it
mind.
shouldn't take a virus to get you in that mindset. The
I
fortune
agree.
is to follow
Right.
up 24/7, and it's not who you know, what you know, but what you know about who. And the
Right.
message to your staff needs to be: we need to be like this all the time.
All the time,
Whether we're
24/7.
racking, making tons of money, no money, we're in
Right.
this mindset 24/7 because it's the right mindset, and it's the mindset of champions and extraordinary people, which is
Right.
to do as much as you can for others. And it's okay to go for the money grab, and it's okay just to do things, which is the right feeling thing to do.
Touche.
And that's what I live by, and that's I get more joy out of the 2 acts of kindness often than sometimes even the biggest deals that I cut. So it's been fun. My exchange, what's funny is you're killing yourself with this new website I'm doing, the collectible exchange, and all of a sudden you hit this environment, everybody's in their closets, and all of a sudden I'm getting bombarded with people putting stuff up on my site, over 50,000 items. So you never know when the tables are going to turn, as long as you're doing good quality work and trying to be kind and trying to do the right things out there and keep grinding away. So there's a lot of twists and turns in business, I think. And you got to expect that too. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to expect, don't let a bump in the road put you on the side of the road kind of thing. And
Right.
I think that's where you got to brace yourself. And that's where a little experience. And look, you've been down the road, you're going to hit some of these bumps where, talent cancels or things happen. So,
Exactly.
you brace yourself, and, you always get through it, and you figure out the next best thing to do.
Well, a lot of the folks are saying Brandon looks great, and I don't know if they're referring to you or me. They're saying Brandon's hair looks amazing, so it's tough. I've never been in this situation before, but I'll go with you.
Well,
I'm sure.
thank you. This is my first Instagram live in a while. I don't think I've done anything for maybe 6 or 8 months, and
Wow.
I know a lot of fans and customers. Remember, I had Red Sox Steiner up there, so I had a really good
Yep.
Red Sox and Boston base. I always respect the Red Sox fans. I don't brag about it here in New York because they kill me. So I never mention Red Sox fans around New York and vice versa. But there's nothing like Boston fans. I mean, Celtics and Bruins but there's nothing like you guys are fanatical up there. And it's a beautiful. Listen, Massachusetts, Boston's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I've got a nice following up there. I've done a lot of business, and I guess a lot of people up there probably haven't seen me in a bunch of months. But I'm excited to have a new company and excited to kind of start over again and get a clean slate and be able to really service and do some stuff that I was dying to do, which is really figure out how to do things that are more cost effective and inexpensive for fans and stuff like that. So, and I really just wanted fans to be able to just trade and move their stuff and get other stuff and not, look for more proprietary things. But I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody out there that's checking in on this
So,
live
someone just
because I love answering questions from. By the way, I answer every message on my LinkedIn, every message on brandonsteiner.com personally. Before I go to bed, I spend an hour a night on social answering everything, and I've been doing that for a long time. I mean, I
yeah.
love social media. I'm a little older. I'm not afraid of it, but I enjoy the feedback, and it's not always pleasant. By the way, Brandon, I gotta
Oh,
tell you, man.
I see the negative comments and all the hate on there.
Yeah, it's not
So
always pleasant. I know it's
I
some
know.
people, but I'm not afraid to listen to the comments, and even after I'm not even with that company anymore. I'm not afraid to jump in and fix a problem that happened 3 years ago, or do whatever I could do, and
Yeah.
that's all I can do. That's all I can do. I was a big company that I was running there for a while, and different things happened. Not everybody's going to be ecstatic, but my honest to goodness intention was to get people closer to the game and do everything I can to have people be wowed, and
Right.
hopefully the people out there watching feel that something from David Ortiz, or you'll be able to buy something from Mariano Vera or an Eli Manning or a Steph Curry, and you'll be able to go to StephCurry.com, let's say, or AaronRodgers.com, or whatever it is, MarkMessier.com, and you'll be able to go to their website, and then there's a shop on there. You'll be able to buy something from them directly, get it personalized. You may get a video component. We'll say,
I
hey,
was gonna
Brandon,
say having that video
yeah.
would be awesome for them. Hey, thank you
So I
so
may
much
be
for
sitting here
purchasing the
going, hey,
jersey.
Brandon, I see you ordered this jersey. Happy birthday. I hope you enjoy this. Boom.
There you
So,
go.
again, bringing my customers closer to the game is everything. And I'm trying to collaborate with a lot of collectors out there to help me with this. So there's one-stop shop, and there's this one site you can get everything on. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that that's going to work. And so far, I've gotten incredible feedback from the players. where they love this because they can control what they sell and the price they sell it for, and not have to worry about markups and all kinds of stuff. I'm excited about it.
That's going to be big for sure.
Sure, 8 or 10 people come maybe in the fall. But, you know, people want things that they can remember, which is why your company is perfectly set up at the right time these
Yeah.
last bunch of years. And you got to respect that. And, you know, the problem is that takes a lot of work to put those things together.
Definitely.
A lot of work. Yeah. But it's worth it because people remember it as a lifetime. I run into people now that are 30 or 40 years old that I met when they were 10 years old. When I was first starting my company, like I never met a young kid at a ball game, Brandon, like 8, 9 years old, that I follow up with a kid and his parents. I send them a box of stuff. You know, when you're 8 years old, you get a box to collect. I mean, and I said, listen, if you can get that B you got to an A, email me with your parents. I got a special gift for you. I can't believe how many kids would send me back. I turned those 2 C's to B's, B's to A's. Because I asked the kid, I said, is this B the best you could do, or you just, not really? I said, okay, but if it's the best you could do, I have no complaints. No, I really could do better. I said, I'll tell you what, if you turn one of these 2 B's into an A, you email me, I'll send you a surprise. It's amazing if kids send me that, and the parents like, thank you. Hey, listen, I have no problem ethically bribing kids to do better in school, to do the things they're supposed to do. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
If I can get a kid motivated by giving them a little something to do better in school, I'm guilty.
All for it. Mike B is in here. Brandon says that he missed working at Steiner Sports.
Yeah, Mike, I hear you, buddy. Well, thank you for your hard work. And there's a lot of people, including yourself, Mike, that did a lot of work over the time to make Steiner what it was. And I'm very grateful for the staff and employees. I mean, 32 years, a lot of people put out a lot of things to make the business, you know, the industry it is now. There's a lot of people that we came up with systems and different things to do things. And hopefully that will stick around. And listen, we had a lot of fun, man. Probably secured over 25 million autographs.
Wow.
It's amazing. I mean, you know, it's crazy amount of autographs and projects. And, you know, I remember when in 2004, if there's some Red Sox fans out there, I was ready to, you know, when you guys won Game 7, Johnny Damon went crazy with his grand slam. I was ready on my 3rd black and white cookie at that point. And you guys just creamed us in the game 6-7. And I actually love Kevin Millar, by the way, because that's what I think of when this stuff goes on, because he just kills the Yankees. He came up to my office and they took every Yankee thing down. Says, this is Red Sox now, baby. He went crazy. So I'm ready to jump off a bridge because like the lost the most critical. Wait a minute. If my life is over, the people in Boston are probably celebrating like there's no tomorrow. I stopped what I was doing. I started calling every Red Sox player, agent, anybody get on the phone, tripled my offers to them, and had the best year at Steiner Sports. Tripled the amount of signings, everything, took control of that whole project. Wow. From Kurt Schilling to Ortiz, Kurt Schilling, I can go on and on about, you know, all those guys. And then we ended up having a phenomenal run because the Red Sox fans were just out of their minds, completely fanatic about the success of beating the Yankees. And as much as I was bummed as a fan, I was excited as a businessman to support the Red Sox and put that together. I just want to say one more thing about the Red Sox, because, you know, I mentioned that we had, and by the way, that was, I think, one of the most pivotal wins, by the way, maybe in baseball, in modern day baseball history, because it changed everything. It's up to that point.
Huge.
It's huge. But I'll tell you one thing about the Red Sox. It's not a mistake or an accident or a trick that they win. They are an incredible organization. I mean, very well managed. They're right from the top. They really do a good job. Their communication, their professionalism. They are, you know, Sam, who runs, he's amazing, great business person. You know, they do what they say what they do. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they are,
definitely.
They were a joy to work with, man. I got to tell you. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they continually figure things out and win in the last, 10 years or so. I mean, they're just a great organization. And I don't know if they get enough credit for it. I mean, the Yankees are a great organization. They get a lot of credit for it. They're a great brand. But I think the Red Sox are right there with them as well.
Well, we're very biased, so I'm going to have to agree with that, of course. But
yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about on the inside. I mean, things that people don't know, like, you know, their marketing.
Behind the scenes.
The way they go about their business is phenomenal. And, It really is impressive, and I think they don't get the kind of props that they probably should get. I'm a big fan of the way that organization's run, and they are a big boost to baseball. Because,
Yeah.
the Yankees are the Yankees, but they run a really good ship, man. They really do. Yeah, I enjoyed my time with them, and that was, and they'll do nothing but win because they've got the right setup.